Mom thinks she met a famous serial killer in 1976. About a year ago, I was sitting at home when I got a random call from my mom. She told me this story, which I had her write down for me later on. The following story is copy/pasted directly from what she wrote. I know I must have been 11 or 12 years old. I know this because I was still riding my sister's hand-me-down blue Schwinn girl's bicycle. I got a new 10-speed bike at 13 years old, and I weighed around 74 pounds, which I'll explain later. I was born in 1965, so that makes the year this happened around 1976 or 1977. It was a long time ago, but certain parts of it are burned into my memory. I was wearing jeans, but don't remember what was on top. So it must have been late spring/early fall, because if it was hot like the middle of summer, I would have been wearing shorts. I was tall for my age, thin, and had shoulder-length light brown hair. Our house was about a 3-minute bike ride away from the Jewel/Osco store. I often rode up there to buy myself a sweet treat, as I did that day. I parked my bike outside the door and went the Osco side of the store where the candy aisle was located very near the door. I looked over my choices and finally settled on a bag of sugar babies. At some point during this time, a man came down the same aisle and started to talk to me. I was naive and shy and raised in never saying no to an adult. So I just quietly turned away and walked down to the opposite end of the aisle and turned back up into the greeting card aisle. He followed me and maneuvered in front of me. I don't remember everything he said, but I do remember him saying he could guess my weight and asked if he could prove it to me. Of course, I shyly said okay. He reached behind me, putting his hand between my legs and lifting up on my butt. He guessed 74 pounds, and he wasn't that far off. Things didn't feel right, but I couldn't bring myself to protest. There were no other people in the aisles.